While doing the journey of Whoops concepts, we had seen so many things. So in the beginning, we had seen uh, uh, a lot of things. Just wait, guys. Uh, for few of the people, it is not for all. Uh, Actually, we have a meeting today. Just stay on the line. Just stay on the line. We started the concepts of hoops, and then we had seen what is if statement and what is if else. And then we had seen for loop. We had seen what is while loop. We had seen about range function. We had seen about range function start and stop. And then we had seen about range function with start, stop, step. Then we had seen what is a break. And then what we had seen what is a continue and all. And then we had seen what is a pass. Okay, so what is a pass statement and all these things. And then we had seen we had also seen functions case. Okay, so yesterday's session we had seen regarding functions. Okay, so function is like a big C. So what function will do? It will take some inputs. So yesterday, do you remember we had given certain parameters and arguments? So certain that those parameters and arguments are like the fruits what you input to the mixing and you will get an output. Okay. And yesterday I had also asked you to write certain given tasks of writing some functions. I had given some six function tasks as the as a work to you. So I guess you have completed that one. So how many of you have done that task, guys? You can send a reply mail. So you have done that one, Alekia, Ashish, Dipti, Gautami, Kalyan, and all. So anyway, please do the task. And those who have not got the task, what I'm doing is I'm sending you the task again. Let me share the task to you. Please do the task. Functions task. I had sent to everyone. Please download that function task, guys, everyone. So those who have not received, please download this functions task and you have to do this functions task by today. Those who have not received and not done that. Okay. So please do that one. So anyway, so round is a function, min is a function, max is a function, min is a function. So what are these? These are some built-in functions. Okay. And if you see what are functions, A function is a set of instructions that is used to perform a single related operation. So function is a set of instructions that is used to perform single related operation. So we had seen there are two types of functions. One is built-in functions. So built-in functions is by default. In Python, we will have, so print is a function, input is a function, length is a function and all. And user-defined functions. For user-defined functions means the functions which we defined by the user or built by the user are called as user-defined functions. Okay. So how to define a function we had seen yesterday? Let me open Jupyter Notebook. Let me open Jupyter Notebook.
Sorry, Paul, the screen sharing.
Let me, oh, yes, yes. So I'm opening that one. Okay. So function. So how you define a function? We define function with a name def. So yesterday we had seen a simple example of printing Mera Bharat Mahan. How many times we want? Okay. Suppose here I am building a function. Otherwise, I will take this as an example. Okay, so here we had built a function. So do remember always function is defined or a function will have this definition and then name of the function. And what is this n? These are the arguments what we pass and function will return something. If you have a return statement, what it will do, it will default return that one. That is what function is. So yesterday we had discussed that one. So body of a function, see if you see what does the function consist of and other things. Okay. So you will have a see a function is declared with def, name of the function, and then it will have a group of statements and it will return something. Okay. So this is function. So when you build a function, what you have to do, you have to call a function. So I had built this function with the name greet. If you observe here, run it. Okay. So what is your intention? We want to print this Hamara Bharat Mahan as many number of times as we want. Okay. So when you build a function, what you have to do? You have to call that function. So how to call that function? Using the name of the function. What is the name of the function? It is greet. So you are using greet and then correct. So it is throwing an error. Because if you see why it is throwing an error, here we have to give one positional argument that but that positional argument is missing over here. That is the reason. Suppose I want to print Hamara Bharat Mahan 5 times. So what I will give? I will give a 5 over here. Correct? See. It is printing Hamara Bharat Mahan 5 times, and then what it is doing, it is returning this one. Okay. So this is a simple function. So yesterday we had discussed in detail regarding the function, guys. And then yesterday we had seen about local variables and global variables also. Okay. So local variables and global variables. Suppose if I say A equal to 100. Okay. And what is A? A is 100. You can access anywhere this A. So what is this A? This is a global variable. Suppose, for example, if you come here, I am building one more function. So I'm building one more function. If my house. See here, this function my house, it consists of a1 comma b1, c equal to 0, c plus equal to 1, a1 equal to b1 plus c, print a1. Okay. So what is this c and b? They are A1. What are those? Those are local variables. So they are local to this function only. For example, I had built a function with the name my house. Okay. So when you build a function, what you have to do, you have to call that function my underscore house, and you need to give two parameters, that is A1 and B1. Suppose I'm giving it 10, comma 20. Okay. Run it. See, we are getting printed this A1. Suppose if I want to access this A1, you can't that access the table because that is local variable. Okay, so that has only local scope. But if you see this A, this is global variable. You can access anywhere. Suppose if I say again A, you can access that one. Not only that, you can access that one within a function also. Suppose for example here def F3, F3 global A. So how to access a global variable inside a function? By using this keyword global. So F3 global A equal to 1 print A. So what I'm doing, I'm changing. So if you see A value is here 100, but I'm accessing inside a function and I'm changing that value from 100 to 1. That is what I'm doing. Okay. So run it. Now F3. So run it. So we are printing that value A as 1. Now if you check A, that value is 1, not 100. So what we had done, we had taken this global value of A, that is 100, and we are changing that A to 1, that value of 100 to 1, and we are printing. And global value of A also has changed from 100 to 1. Okay, so this is what happened. So if you see the definitions of what is local variable and what is global variable. Okay. So local variables defined within functions has local scope, and hence they are called local variables. So local variables has only local scope. So local scope means they can be accessed within the function only. If you see here, if you see this example, here we have B1, A1, C values, they can be accessed within the function only. Outside, there is no possibility. You cannot access. So they appear when the function is called and disappear when the function exists. So when we call that function, they will appear. And when we does not call that one, when they will disappear when the function exists. That is local variables. Whereas global variables, so what is global variables and all? So if you see global variables, the variables defined outside the function has global scope. Hence, they are called as global variables. So anything defined outside the function, for example, here if you see a equal to 100. So what is that? That is a global variable. A is equal to 100. So that is a global variable. If you see the value of a, it is 100. So what is this? A variable defined outside the function has a global scope, hence they are called as global variables. Global scope means they can be accessed within the function as well as outside the function. So they can be accessed within the function as well as outside the function. So the value of global variable can be used by referring a variable global inside the function. Suppose if you want to access a global function, what a global variable inside a function, what you have to use the keyword global to access that one. So if you want to use global, then there is no use of you cannot access a global variable. By only using global, the keyword global, you can access a global variable. Okay, so that is local variable and global variable. And now today, what shall we do is we shall go to another important concept. Okay. So yesterday again we had discussed regarding indentation also. So if you remember, we had discussed regarding indentation. So we have mystery function, def mystery. So we had seen when it will work, when it will not work. So this will not work because due to indentation and all problems and all. So I had explained you regarding that indentation also. Okay. So today what shall we do is we shall see the concepts of class and object. So classes and objects are very important, guys. So please listen carefully. So regarding this class and objects, I will go a little bit slow, okay, so that you can understand how to build a class. So building the class is very important. So what is the working style of a class? How does a class works and what are the objects? Okay, so there are so many terms that will be coming inside a class. So understanding them is very important. Fine. So let us see what is a class today and what are the objects. So classes and objects. Okay. Suppose here, here, I have different employees. If you see here, I have different employees. So I have an employee with the name Sarah, and I have an employee with the name John. I have an employee with the name Jessica. Okay. So these are different employees. So what I'm doing, I need to calculate the different salaries or anything for this all employees. Okay. Suppose if you calculate individually and all, you cannot do that one. Okay. So it will take a lot of times. But if you see here, every employee has the same features like name, age, salary. Okay. So what we do, we built a class and we implement that one to all the employees, and each and every employee is treated as an object of the class, and we will get the output, the desired output. Okay. And again, if you see here, we have a class here. So consider we have a car. This is a basic car. So from the basic car, we are developing certain cars again. So sports cars or hatchback or van and all. But what is the what is the basic thing behind that one in ordinary class? So if you see what is the definition of a class, so what is a definition of a class? So class is a blueprint used to create objects having same properties or attributes as a class. Okay. So class is the blueprint used to create objects. A best example is, guys, for example, if you want to construct, if you want to construct uh, houses, suppose for example group houses, something like that. Okay. So uh, consider we are constructing government houses or any group houses, something like that. So in order to construct that government houses or group houses, you will have a lot of houses. Okay. So you will have n number of houses. So in order to construct that house, what you required the design, the architecture plan of the house. So first, if you have a architecture plan of one house, what we can do, you can develop multiple houses using that one architecture plan. Okay. So class is like a blueprint, and we can develop different objects from one class. Okay, so we can develop different objects for one class. For example, guys, I have a blueprint over here. I have a blueprint how to construct a house. Alright, I have a blueprint how to construct a house. So from this blueprint, using this blueprint, I can construct house number one. Okay, so I can construct house number one. I can construct house number two. Okay, I can construct house number three. Okay, so different houses I can construct. I can construct multiple houses. Okay, so what is this? This blueprint. This blueprint is like a class. So in real world, what we will do is we will build a class, and from that class we try to build multiple objects. Okay, so class is like a blueprint. And see this blueprint, if you see here, I am constructing a house. Okay. So when I am constructing a house, generally what I will do, I will see that that house has some doors, windows and all. Consider I am building a single bedroom house. So here we have kitchen, this is hall, this is bathroom, this is this is one of the bedroom, this is one of the bedroom and all like this. So each and every object has the same features if you observe. A little bit changes will be change. If at all, if you require little bit changes, you can do that little bit changes. Okay. But what is the base? What is the base for building this house? This blueprint. What is the base for building this house? This blueprint. What is the base for building this house? This blueprint. Okay. So what is class? Class is the blueprint. And these houses, house number one, house number two, House number 3, what are those? They are objects to this class, or they are the objects which is built from the blueprint. Okay, so do remember, class is like a architecture plan. It is a blueprint. Based upon that blueprint, we develop multiple things, and the multiple things are called as objects. For example, here this car is a class. So based upon this class car, we are building multiple cars, sports car or hatchback or van. So what are these sports car, hatchback, van, which are taken from this class? They are called as objects. Okay. So for example, we have a class telephone. Okay, so from the telephone we have touch tone phone, we have rotational phone, we have cellular phone, and also what is the basic thing for all these things? That is the phone. Okay, and all what are these? They are objects of that phone. Okay, so do remember, what is this? A class is like a blueprint, and an object is an instance of the class which contains variables and methods. So what are these variables and what are these methods? We shall see with an example. But do remember, class is like a blueprint.